don't know what age group we're talking about here, but I'm going to assume we're talking about 7th, 8th grade and up, a young woman who is getting into possibly pornography, possibly websites that allow her to interact with strangers. So I'm going to be talking to, I would say 13 years old and up. And what does a parent do? So hopefully this is not the first time you're sitting down and having conversations with your daughter about the dangers of internet. And here, when we talk about inappropriate websites, there are a few things that I'd be concerned about. I'd want to know that my child is safe. And so certainly I should be vigilant and try to supervise what sites my child is going onto, and have, if there's a fear of stranger, a predator reaching out to your child, or cyberbullying, I think the best thing is to tell your child you're concerned and that you want to check on their network, their history, and so on. But if that's not possible, if you feel your child will resist or start erasing where they've been, then you have to do it in a way that keeps your child safe. I think one thing I try to reiterate with my students, I teach 18-year-old girls, there is a naivete and a sense that I am posting things and only my nearest and dearest are going to see it. I'm going to post something on Facebook, but it's really just for my friends. Or I'm going to send an embarrassing picture to my boyfriend because I really trust him and love him. And it doesn't occur to me that it's going to get onto the internet, onto a WhatsApp group, and so on. So again, a conversation that really should be had at an earlier age is privacy, concerns about privacy, the fact that anything that I can find fairly easily by typing in your name, your employer is going to be able to find, whether again it's a babysitting job or working in the library, this idea that people are going to search for you and they're going to check on you, and the pictures you post and the language that you use is going to be very visible. So that's one piece. When you talk about inappropriate websites, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but one thing I'd want teenagers to be very aware of is how public they are, how transparent everything is. There's no hiding once you start posting things. Another thing with girls, possibly even more than boys, is the tendency to send pictures of themselves, particularly to boys that they're interested in. And then unfortunately, over and over again, we find stories, terrible stories. Those boys, of course, breach the trust that the girl has put on them. The boy is 14, 15, and he sends the picture all over the school. And of course, that has terrible consequences. So you want to be careful not to use aggressive scare tactics, because those tend to inhibit a child or shut down the child and they can't listen. On the other hand, you want to share information and make sure the child is safe. So you have to, again, ongoing conversation, bringing perhaps a story to the dinner table, an article to the dinner table that you want to share. If you see the child is really withdrawing and is beginning to show signs of either an addiction to a site, or is showing signs of possibly being bullied, or signs that something's happening on the internet, too many hours on the internet, late into the night, not sharing what's going on, definitely bring in professionals, meaning you don't have to do this yourself. If you're afraid for your child, then talk to professionals who deal with porn addiction or deal with any sort of bullying on the internet. Call the school's attention, maybe ask speakers to come into the school to speak about this kind of thing, so it's not just you and your child. The most important thing really is to make sure your child is safe, to make sure your child is behaving responsibly, and this should be an ongoing conversation from a young age, so children don't find themselves caught unawares when they're being asked to do things that they're not prepared for through what seems to be the safe, anonymous medium of the internet.